Welcome to British Biomedicine Institute. Today I, Dr. Pramod Khatri, is going to represent a simple topic named as cardiovascular system. So basically the heart play an important role in the circulation of blood throughout the body, and heart pumps the blood in two different circuit sequences. The first circuit is pulmonary circuit, which is from to and from the lungs, and the another circuit is systematic circuit, which is to and from rest of the body. So basically there are three kinds of blood vessels. First, arteries. They usually carry blood away from the heart and carry it to the capillaries. Whereas capillaries are the microscopic vessels where exchange between cell and blood take place, and veins receive blood from capillaries and carry it back to the heart. So there are two sets of pumping chamber in heart. Right atrium, which receive systematic blood. Right ventricle pump blood to lungs, pulmonary reaction. Left atrium receive blood from the lungs, and left ventricle pump blood to organ systems, systematic reaction. So this is an overview of a cardiovascular system where the blood will be flowing from the right side to the left side. So the anatomy of heart is, the outermost layer is known as pericardial cavity, which surrounds the heart, and it is been lined by the pericardium. And there are basically two layers, epicardium and pericardium. Epicardium consists of visceral pericardium, which cover heart surface, and parietal pericardium line up the pericardial sac that surround the heart. So the location of the heart in the thoracic cavity is in the thoracic cavity. So basically it is been surrounded by the lungs, and it is in the exact in between. It is been located in between the thoracic cavity. So the surface feature of heart are auricle, which is the outermost portion of atrium. Coronary sulcus. It is a deep groove that mark boundary of atria and ventricles. And anterior interventricular sulcus, and presence of posterior intraventricular sulcus, which mark boundary between left and right ventricle. Sulci contain major cardiac blood vessels, and it is filled with protective fat. So this is the surface anatomy of the heart, where left ventricles, right ventricles, and right atrium, they are clearly visible because this is the anterior surface of the heart. And this is the posterior surface of the heart, backside, where we can have a look at the right atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle, and left atrium. So the heart wall is being covered by epicardium, which is the outermost layer, and it is made up of serous membrane. The innermost layer, the middle layer is known as myocardium, which is the middle layer, and it is made up of thick muscle cells or layer. And the innermost layer is known as endocardium, which helps in it is a inner lining of pumping chamber, and it is made up of with endothelium. So these are the anatomy of the heart. The outermost layer is made up of parietal pericardium, which consists of loose connective tissues and epithelium. There will be dense fibrous layer, and after the middle layer is known as epicardium, which is made up of visceral pericardium, again loose connective tissues and epithelium and are available. And in the endocardium there are endothelium and loose connective tissues, and there is also a presence of myocardium, cardiac muscle tissue. So this is a heart wall or cardiac muscle tissue. It consists of mitochondrion, nucleus, cardiac muscle cells, myofibrils, and intercalcated disc. and it has an intact cardiac muscle cells and intercalated disc which are sanctioned. So cardiac muscle cells are basically shorter than skeletal muscle fibers. They have only a single nucleus. They have striations or sarcomere organization. They depend on anaerobic metabolism and they are connected by intercalated disc, which helps in transmission of tension through desmosomes, and action potential is being transmitted by the gap junction. Now comes the internal anatomy and organization. The interradial septum helps in separation of atria. Intraventricular septum separates the ventricles. Arterioventricular valves, they are located between the atrium and ventricle, and they ensure one-way flow from atrium to the ventricle. So blood flow in the heart. Superior and inferior vena cava helps in flowing of the blood throughout the heart, and the large vein will carry the systemic blood to the right atrium. The right atrium sends the blood to right ventricle. It will flow through the right AV valve, which has been bounded by 3 tricuspid valves or 3 cusp, and cusp anchored by the chordae tendineae, and they are attached with the papillary muscles. So the right ventricle pumps blood through the pulmonary semilunar valve, which make an entry in the pulmonary trunk. It flows to the lungs through the right and left pulmonary artery, where it picks up the oxygen. So pulmonary vein carry blood to the left atrium. Left atrium send blood to left ventricle, and it enters through the left AV valve or bicuspid or mitral valve, and the left ventricle pump blood to aorta through aortic semilunar valve of the system. So this is the section anatomy of a heart, where blood is entering from the left atrium. It goes to the right atrium, and then from right atrium to left ventricle, and then to the from a left atrium it will go to right atrium, and from right atrium it will go to right ventricle, and from right ventricle it will go to left ventricle. So the function anatomy of heart is left ventricular myocardium is much thicker than the right, because it reflects a difference in the load. Valve ensure one-way flow of the blood. It will prevent backward flow. Fibrous skeleton support the valves and muscle cells. So the valves of the heart, they basically helps in prevention of the blood in flowing in the back side. So this is a relaxed ventricle where right tricuspid valve is open, aortic semilunar valve is closed, pulmonary semilunar valve is closed. This is the contracting muscles where right AV or tricuspid valve get closed, left AV bicuspid valve is closed, and pulmonary semilunar valve is open in the constricting ventricles. So the anatomy of the heart. The heart has 4 chambers, the right atrium and ventricles with pulmonary circuit, and left atrium and ventricle with systemic circuit. The left ventricle greater workload make it more massive than the right, but the two pump equal amount of blood. AV valves prevent backflow from the ventricles into the atria, and semilunar valves prevent backflow from the outflow vessels into the ventricles. So now comes the blood supply of the heart. So coronary circulation meet heavy demand of myocardium for oxygen and nutrients. Coronary artery, either right or left, they branches into aorta base. Anastomosis, arterial interconnections ensure constant blood supply, and drainage, they drain into basically the right atrium, where great middle cardiac veins drain into capillary and it empty into coronary sinuses. So this is the anterior view of a coronary circulation, where blood will be flowing from the left auricle to the left ventricle, and from left ventricle to the right ventricle and to the right atrium, and it will be out. So this is the posterior view of your coronary circulation, where right atrium, they have presence of small cardiac veins, and right coronary arteries are visible, RCA, or marginal branches are seen for the RCA. And in the right ventricle, middle cardiac veins are visible and posterior intraventricular branches of RCA are visible. So, and whereas in left ventricle, great cardiac veins, posterior cardiac vein and posterior left ventricle branches of LCA are visible. And in left atrium, circumflex branches of LCA are visible. So heartbeat need two type of cardiac cells. Basically, first one is your contractile cells, which provide pumping action, and second one is your conducting system, which generate or spread the action potential. So the difference between the cardiac and skeletal muscle cells are: cardiac action potential has long Petau phase. Cardiac muscles have long slow twitch. Cardiac muscles have long refractory period and they cannot be tetanized. So this is a diagram of where the circuit, where the blood is flowing through the heart and your systemic and circulation conduction is happening, where there will be a rapid depolarization. It will be caused by the sodium entry, and the duration is 3 to 5 milliseconds, and it will end with closure of voltage regulated sodium channel. And in the Petau, there will be an entry of calcium. Duration will last for 175 milliseconds, and it will end up with closure of calcium channel. And whereas in repolarization, there will be potassium loss. Duration will be 75 milliseconds, and it will end up with closure of potassium channel. So the action potential and the muscle cells contract in skeleton and cardiac muscles. The conduction system initiate and spread electrical impulse in the heart. There are basically two types of cells, like nodal cells, which act as a pacemaker cell, and they reach the threshold firstly and they set the heart rate. Whereas the conducting cells distribute stimuli to the myocardium. Heart is a self-exciting, and the pacemaker establishes heart rate. The normal pacemaker is sinoatrial SA node. Impulse spreads from the SA node across atria to AV or atrioventricular node, or to AV bundle and bundle branches, and via Purkinje fiber to ventricles. This is the conduction system of the heart, where AV bundles and bundle branches and Purkinje fibers, atrioventricular nodes and sinoatrial nodes, they are helping in contraction and conduction of action potential. So in the step 1, SA node activity and atrial activation begin. The time will be 0 milliseconds, SA node. In step 2, stimulus spread across the arterial surface and reaches the AV node. The time will be only 50 milliseconds in the AV node. And step 3, there is 100 millisecond delay at the AV node. Atrial contraction will begin and the time elapsed is 150 milliseconds. And in step 4, the impulse travel along the intraventricular septum with the AV bundle and the bundle branches to the Purkinje fiber, and the time elapsed is 175 milliseconds. And in the step 5, the impulse is distributed by Purkinje fiber and relayed throughout the ventricular myocardium. Atrial contraction is completed and the ventricle contraction begins, and the time elapsed is 125 milliseconds. So next comes the electrocardiogram, ECG or EKG. It is basically a recording of electrical activity of the heart. There are three main components: P, Q, R, S, T. P waves denote atrial depolarization. QRS complex denote ventricle depolarization, and T waves they denote ventricular repolarization. So this is an electrocardiogram of a patient where ECG rhythm strip is been generated in the PQRS form for 800 milliseconds, and the P valve inside the P wave impulse spread across atria. It trigger atrial contraction, and in T waves ventricle return to resting state, and QRS complex in impulse spread to ventricles, triggering ventricular contraction. So the keynote for heartbeat are: the heart rate is established by the SA node as modified by autonomous activity, hormones, ions, etc. From there, the stimuli is conducted through the atrium to the AV node and the AV bundle, the bundle branches and the Purkinje fibers to the ventricular myocardium. The ECG shows the electrical event associated with the heartbeat. So, the cardiac cycles has two different phases, systolic and diastolic. Systolic is the contraction phase, and both ventricles work simultaneously, whereas in diastolic, relaxation phase is there. So it will start at the 0 milliseconds. The atrial system begins. Atrial contraction forces a small amount of additional blood into relaxed ventricle, and it will go to atrial systole, and an atrial diastole begins. After that, ventricular systole, first phase. Ventricular contraction pushes AV valve closed but does not create ensure pressure to open semilunar valves. When in ventricular systole, second phase, as ventricular pressure rise and exceed pressure of the artery, the semilunar valve open and blood is injected. And in ventricular diastole, it is an early process. As ventricular relax, pressure in the ventricular drops, the pressure flow back again, and again against cusp or the semilunar valves and forces them closed. Blood flow into the relaxed atria, and from there ventricular diastole, which is a late process. All chambers are relaxed and relaxed until the ventricle fill the passively, and then blood then move out back to the capillaries. Heartbeat. So basically there are two sounds, lub and dub. So basically the heart sound are generated by the closing of the valves. There are two main heart sounds. First sound is lub, when there is a closing of AV valve, and second sound is dub, when there is a closing of aortic valves. It indicates the start and stop of systole, and we can hear the sound with the help of a stethoscope. So some essential definitions are: heart dynamic. It is the movement and the force generated during cardiac contraction. Stroke volume is the amount of blood pumped in a single beat, and cardiac output is the amount of blood pumped each minute. So the factor controlling cardiac output are blood volume reflexes, autonomic interventions where heart rate affect and stroke volume affect, and the hormones, they also helps in controlling the cardiac output. Blood volume reflexes, they are being stimulated by change in venous return. VR is amount of blood entering the heart. And atrial reflexes, it will help in speed up of the heart rate. It will be triggered by the stretching wall of right atrium. And in accordance with Frank-Starling principle, it will increase ventricular output, which will be triggered by the stretching walls of the ventricle. So autonomic control of the heart consists of parasympathetic intervention or sympathetic intervention. In sympathetic intervention, there will be release of ACH, acetylcholine, and it will lower heart rate and stroke volume. Whereas in sympathetic intervention, there will be release of NE, non-epinephrine, and it will raise heart rate and stroke volume. So this is a diagram of a autonomic intervention of a heart, where there is a conduction of heartbeat in accordance with the parasympathetic and sympathetic. So the hormones also play an important role for cardiac output. Adrenal medulla hormone, where epinephrine and non-epinephrine, they can be released, and the heart rate and stroke volume, it will increase. And other hormones that increase output are glycogen and thyroid hormones. So your central nervous system control the heart. The basic control is medulla oblongata, and cardioacceleratory center, it will activate the sympathetic neurons, and the cardioinhibitory center, they are governed by the parasympathetic neurons. Other inputs are higher center, blood pressure sensor, oxygen carbon dioxide sensor. So heart dynamics. Cardiac output is the amount of blood pumped by the left ventricle every minute. It is adjusted moment to moment by the ANS, autonomic nervous system, and by circulating hormones, changes in blood volume and in venous return. A healthy person can increase cardiac output by 3 to 5 fold. So this was all about your presentation in your cardiovascular system. I hope you have gained a lot of clinical information through this presentation. Please like, share, comment our YouTube channel named as British Biomedicine Institute. Thank you. Goodbye.